If your legs feel heavy like lead when you wake up, or if climbing stairs feels like wading through mud, stop blaming your age. Because in my 25 years of practice, I've found that 90% of the time, your legs aren't actually weak, they are suffocating. After age 60, the microscopic blood vessels in your lower body begin to tighten, literally starving your muscles of oxygen. You can do all the squats you want, but if the fuel line is pinched, the engine won't run. But here's the part that changes everything. You can reopen those fuel lines, and recent clinical data suggests you can start feeling the difference, less heaviness, more stability, in as little as 12 hours. Not with a pill, and not with hours of exercise, but with a specific sequence of nutrients that act like a key for your circulation. And the first one, it's probably sitting in your pantry right now. You see, most of us accept that slowing down is just part of the deal. We wake up, swing our legs out of bed, and they feel heavy, stiff, like we're wearing ankle weights. And we tell ourselves, well, I'm just getting older, my muscles must be shrinking. But I want you to take a breath and let that guilt go. Because in my experience, for many seniors, the muscle is still there. It hasn't disappeared. It's just asleep. Here is what is happening biologically. Think of the arteries in your legs like garden hoses. When we are 20, those hoses are soft, flexible, and wide open. But after decades of use, they naturally stiffen. They become rigid. And when that happens, the blood flow, which carries the oxygen your muscles need to fire, can't get through as easily. So when you try to climb those stairs, your legs aren't failing because they are weak. They are failing because they are gasping for air. The medical term for the molecule that keeps those hoses wide open is nitric oxide. And unfortunately, by the time we hit 60, our bodies produce about 50% less of it than we did in our youth. But the good news? You can manually trigger that system again. You can turn the valve back on. And we are going to start with the single most effective way to do it. If we want to open those hoses back up, we have to look at a vegetable that many of us haven't touched since our school cafeteria days. Beets. Now stay with me. I know beets can be messy and they have an acquired taste. But biochemically, they are essentially rocket fuel for older legs. When you consume beets, specifically the juice, your body converts their natural nitrates into that magical molecule we just talked about, nitric oxide. It literally signals the smooth muscle inside your arteries to relax, to widen. Think of it like unclogging a kink in that garden hose. Suddenly the pressure drops and the flow rushes through, and the research backs this up brilliantly. A study published in the Journal of Gerontology found that a single dose of beet juice didn't just lower blood pressure. It significantly improved arterial flexibility in adults over 60. Another study found that seniors who drank it before walking saw a 19% increase in muscle performance in just a few hours. 19%. Just by fixing the flow. If you can't stomach the juice, there is a gentler alternative. Cooked spinach. But here is the trick. It must be cooked. Raw spinach is full of oxalates that can block mineral absorption. When you lightly steam it, you break those down, and you unlock a massive reserve of nitrates. A study in the Journal of Nutrition showed that one serving could improve walking speed and endurance in as little as 12 hours. So, my recommendation? A small glass of beet juice, about 4 to 6 ounces, first thing in the morning. It wakes up your legs before you even take your first step. But opening the blood flow is only half the battle. Because if the structure of the engine, the muscle tissue, and the joints themselves is brittle, no amount of fuel will help. And the nutrients that fix that, they are often missing from a modern senior's diet completely. Now, once we have the blood flowing, we need to look at the machinery itself. Because another reason your legs feel weak isn't just lack of oxygen, it's micro damage. Every time you walk, stand, or even sit for too long, your muscle fibers and joints sustain tiny microscopic tears. In a 20-year-old, the body patches these up instantly, but after 60, that repair process slows down to a crawl. To fix this, we need something I call liquid repair, and the most powerful form of it is bone broth. I know, it sounds old-fashioned, but this isn't just soup. It is a concentrated source of collagen, gelatin, and two critical amino acids, glycine and proline. Think of your muscle tissue like a brick wall. Over time, the mortar between the bricks starts to crumble. Bone broth provides the raw materials to repoint that mortar, and because it's a liquid, your body doesn't have to work hard to digest it. It absorbs almost instantly. In fact, a Japanese study found that glycine, one of the main components in broth, helped accelerate muscle regeneration by over 40%. I recommend sipping a warm cup about 20 minutes after your morning walk. It goes straight to the knees and calves when they are most receptive. But we can't talk about repair without talking about inflammation. Because if your joints are inflamed, they are swollen, and swollen legs feel heavy. That is where our next ally comes in. Wild-caught salmon. You probably know it has protein, but for us, the magic is in the omega-3s. These fatty acids act like oil for a rusty hinge. They enter the muscle cells and lower the specific proteins, called cytokines, that make you feel stiff. A study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed that seniors who ate this just 3 times a week saw a 24% improvement in leg strength and mobility in just 10 days. So, we have opened the blood flow with beets. We are repairing the tissue with broth and salmon. But there is one final piece of the puzzle. Sometimes the muscle is fine, and the blood flow is fine. But the signal from your brain to your legs is getting lost in static, and the solution to that is small enough to fit in the palm of your hand. Have you ever experienced that sudden twitchy cramping in your calves at night? Or that feeling where your legs just feel uncoordinated, like they aren't listening to you? That is usually an electrical problem. Your nerves send signals to your muscles to contract and relax. But those signals need a conductor, and that conductor is magnesium. The problem is, magnesium is the first mineral our body burns through when we are stressed or tired. And a study in magnesium research found that seniors with low levels experienced almost twice as much leg fatigue during walking tests. To fix the wiring, I turned to the unsung hero of the mineral world, pumpkin seeds. Just 2 tablespoons of raw pumpkin seeds contain a massive dose of magnesium along with zinc to help balance your hormones. They essentially insulate your nerve endings, clearing up the static so your brain can talk to your legs again. I suggest soaking them overnight to make them easier to digest, then sprinkling them on your oatmeal or blending them into a smoothie. And if you want to pair that with the perfect energy source, swap your white rice for quinoa. Unlike bread or rice, which spike your sugar and then crash your energy, leaving your legs feeling shaky, quinoa is a slow-burn fuel. It contains all 9 essential amino acids, making it a complete protein for muscle repair. So, we have covered a lot today. We talked about beets for flow, broth for repair, and seeds for signaling. But please do not try to do this all at once. That is the quickest way to get overwhelmed and do nothing. I want to offer you a simple challenge. Just pick one. Maybe tomorrow morning you try the beet juice. Or maybe you just add a spoon of pumpkin seeds to your breakfast. Start with one small change. Because this isn't just about building muscle. It's about what those muscles allow you to do. It's about having the stability to walk through the garden without looking at your feet. It's about the confidence to stand up from the floor after playing with your grandkids. It's about keeping your world big instead of letting it shrink. Your legs are your foundation. And if you give them the right fuel, they will carry you farther than you ever imagined. If you found this helpful, or if you're going to try one of these foods, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your story. And for more science-backed ways to maintain your independence, make sure you are subscribed. I'm Dr. Samuel Hartley, and I'll see you in the next video.